Hello everybody, this is Solaris X, casting another Cast It game. This one is brought to you by, let's see here, Zacharific. I think he is one of the big contributors I've seen here on the Dota 2 Cast It thread. Zacharific is the time that I cast your game. I don't think I've cast one for you yet. I hope that you enjoy this. This is described as big team fights, comma, mega creeps. So there you go. There you have it. Virtually every third game of mine, big team fights, mega creeps. Actually, that could probably describe virtually every game of mine. So we'll see what actually happens here. I do enjoy casting these things, and it's kind of fun to kind of watch through. I don't know what MMR this is. I don't know how good these people are going to be. No clue. So it kind of brings all kinds of surprises and fun. I'm going to go ahead. Oh, hey, United Airlines. I cast a game for United Airlines Enforcer a while back. I wonder if that is actually Zacharific. I have no idea. Probably not. Zacharific, you need to out yourself here and tell us who you are. So we have here in this game, playing for the Dire, we have Chocobot. We have Woo at Violated. I have no idea what that means. We have Friend. We all need a friend in Dota. United Airlines, I wish you had the word Enforcer behind you because that was one of the few games I cast a little while back. United Airlines Enforcer. We played Rubik. Very nice. We have Xenia Warrior Princess, or is it Poncess? I don't really know what that is. We have Mobius on the Radiant side, CNM, nondescript, Cowl L. I'm sure that's something I'm supposed to know, but I don't know. There's Stewie, very nice, Stewie, and then Walking Lost, which I guess, I don't know what that means. I guess you're just kind of lost, walking around. Well, so far, let's see here. Let's see how this is shaping up. It's quickly winding down on the all pick. We have on the Dire side an interesting support trio here. We have Dazzle, probably going to be in that safe lane, and Bad in the off lane, and maybe a roaming Monkey King. Going up against a mid lane Invoker and a Night Stalker, which I'm guessing is going to be the roamer. And my understanding here is that the Night Stalker is picked as a common counter to Monkey King. Not because he can destroy trees, which is kind of a soft counter to Monkey King, or in certain circumstances a very hard counter. I guess it depends on how quickly and easily you can destroy trees. But it's the vision game that is produced by Night Stalker. My understanding is that Night Stalker vision is going to somehow counter the Monkey King vision. I don't really understand exactly how that works because his vision, as he can see, is in his element at night, attacking with the Grave Swiftness. He's got move speed. Sorry, it's the darkness. So he sees enemy vision range 675. Smothers the sun, summons instant darkness that he might use his powers at the fullest. While darkness is in effect, enemy heroes, units, wards, and buildings have their vision range reduced. So I guess that's the counter. And that Monkey King sits atop these trees and then he sees everything. Where is the tree? Tree dance. So he jumps in the tree, he gains primal strike, yes. But then he has, I guess I don't really see where it says how far he can see, but I do know that he has pretty good vision up there. And I think it's unobstructed because he's on top of a tree. So that's pretty good. And maybe Night Stalker is going to help counter that. So to round out the draft here in the Dire, we have Shadow Fiend probably going to be mid up against an Invoker. That's a pretty decent lineup if matchup, I guess, if the Shadow Fiend gets a decent start. He does need to get some souls there to get his damage up, his Necromastery. And then Ursa going to be in that safe lane, supported by a Dazzle. That's a fantastic pick. Ursa with the Rage to really dramatically reduce the amount of damage. All the questions, can they time the Rage and the Grave so that the Enrage and the Grave so that you don't overlap those two spells. So that's a potentially really good mechanic in the game, especially you got the slows from Abaddon, the slows from Monkey King. That could be a really sweet lineup there for core. And then looks like we're going to have a round-up Spectre here in the safe lane on the Radiant side. A Sand King going to be, I'm guessing, maybe roaming with the Night Stalker. Off-lane Sand King against, he's going to go melee. He's going to go Caustic Finale against the Ursa and try to put some damage onto the Ursa in that safe lane. Warlock going to be supporting the Spectre. Spectre, a very, very hard carry. I have not found much success with Spectre. I think that is really good for the team fights. Once again, the best graphics in the world, Valve. See, what happens is I get in this game and I rewind it a little bit, and then it starts off with this really cool graphic of entering the scene, but I rewind it to look at the draft, and then it just messes up horribly. So, unfortunately. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and change this up so we can... Yes, I captured a screenshot. So I can go ahead and watch this. That is way too fast. There we go. Much better. So let's see here. See how the lanes are shaping up. Oh, look at that. Look at those huge people. You don't need that to be so big. Okay. So here's your safe lane Spectre. He's hanging out. He's got a decent amount of regen. I've seen some games recently with some low and more players with regen is completely absent, and it's not very enjoyable to watch. Because, well, it's still enjoyable to watch, but it's just kind of sad to watch because then the people they get outlaned so horribly. Got some action up here in the top lane. Monkey King scouting out in the woods, along with Wuat Violated, the Dazzle. You've got the Ursa up in the top here, hitting the Night Stalker. They're going to get a kill. Is there going to be a stun from United Airlines? Actually, he got the treat in, so it doesn't matter. There's no stun, but this is the Dazzle is going to be able to put a hurting on with that heal bomb. The AoE heal damage of the Shadow Wave, very powerful. I think people underestimate that potential. So it looks like Dire are going to be able to secure this rune here and their top rune with the Sand King. Is he going to go take it? Sand King, are you going to go take that rune? Oh, you slide? Oh, that's very, very nicely done there, Stewie. They did all that effort only to lose their own rune. So that's a little sad on their part. Looks like the safe lane is shaping up exactly how I thought it would be. Kalel going to be sitting over here on the left. He got a quick Shadow Word. That's pretty good. The problem, of course, being that he's not going to have that quick Fatal Bonds. It does put a lot of pressure on the enemy. Shadow Word's pretty good too, though. Walking Lust has decent regen, so maybe Fatal Bonds would be better off. Although, in this particular case, they're going to go up against a Baden who has a Tango. He's got the Stout Shield. He's got the Ring of Protection. Not going to really offer too much opportunity to kill the Abaddon there. He's got pretty good regen. And Warlock can just sit here in the trees and just kind of right-click friend, but it's very difficult for him to put this huge amount of pressure. He's going to put the Shadow Word on at some point, I'm guessing. He does have a Clarity and 4 Tangos. This top lane here is going to be interesting. It's shaping up with the Night Stalker, who I thought might be roaming a little bit. He still might be roaming, but he's actually going up against Xenia Warrior Princess, the big bad bear, who's just wrecking these people with the bonus damage from Fury Swipes. Stewie, you're going to die. Or not. Are they going to get a counter kill here on the Xenia Warrior Princess? He walked too far into the tower. Night Stalker putting damage on there with his Silence, the Void. He no longer has any mana to deal with that, but he also has an Orb of Venom, so he's right-clicking these guys into Oblivion. They have some decent regen left, 3 Tangos left from the Monkey King, but looks like the Ursa's... He's only got 3 Tangos left. He does not have a ton of regen, and I'm not sure where he's going to get it from, so... He might pick up the boots. He went for a pretty fast Orb of Venom. So both of these guys have an Orb of Venom. I'm not sure that was, you know, a good idea because I think you'll need one of those Orb of Venoms. So CNN is going to go in here and steal the rune right out from Wuat Violated, right from under his nose. And he's going to come over here and try to circle around, rotate around to get Choco Bot on the Shadow Fiend if he can. If you can get a Void off, might be able to get a decent amount of damage onto Chocobot, force him out of the lane for a little while. That, or maybe even be able to get a gank. There is a Sunstrike up on Invoker, so he's in the position to do something about this. CNN, I'm pretty sure he can see you. Chocobot is not that blind. It's not nighttime yet. So, bottom lane. Looks like the Kalel trying to force out friend there on the Abaddon. Being somewhat successful. Abaddon looks like he's got 3 levels. He's grabbed the rune, probably going to regen if he gets down too low. He's still got a decent amount of Tangos. He's doing okay in that lane. I'm going to pull up the last hits here. It's like the Spectre's doing very well in his lane. Not really pressured by the Abaddon. There's a decent amount of support from the Warlock. That's pretty nice. And it looks like way down here at the bottom, not way down at the bottom, but in the middle, we've got the Invoker and the Ursa. So this is a lane not going so well for Ursa. It's supposed to be a safe lane. But when you've got Stewie with his Caustic Finale, and you got CNN, someone just keeps saying CNN, even though it's CNM. You got CNM on the Night Stalker here, walking around with Void and Crippling Fear. It's not good. It's very difficult to deal with. He is a melee hero, and the support in this lane is a Monkey King who's just sitting up in the tree. He's not really offering a lot. He does have an Orb of Venom, but he's not really hitting these heroes walking around. He is going to spot. There's the stun interrupt on the TP out from CMN. It's probably going to be action down in the bottom lane. Looks like Dazzle rotated. He's not helping out his Ursa friend. He's going to try to put more pressure here on Walking Lost. And I think the Spectre and the Warlock duo are going to do just fine, and Fatal Bond's probably something the Warlock has at this point. That's true, so that's going to put a lot of pressure on the Dazzle and friend there on the Abaddon. Like Warlock's going to go try to get that rune. If there is a rune, there is one. Shadow Fiend going to grab this bottom rune. And he's doing, let's see here, he definitely has his bottle. He's got good stats so far. Fairy Fire, Iron Branch, still got a healing south left. He's going to start trying to take some of these items in the jungle. As the creep wave is pushed to the middle, he might be better off there finishing up this creep wave, pushing it across, but he's going to go ahead and go to the jungle instead. Night Stalker roaming around, looking for some ganks, looking for some opportunities, grabbing runes where he can, stealing them wherever he can. It's like Stewie's up against United Airlines up here in the top lane. Monkey King versus the Sand King. Sand King is going to get a stun on him and kill the Monkey King. So that was not exactly the best trade there for the Monkey King. He just gave Stewie and CNM some additional kills. One Tango left in the Sand King. He still has Enchanted Mango for a tiny bit of little reach in. He does have a shared Tango as well. And Walking Lost taking a significant amount of damage from the Abaddon and the Dazzle. That shield from the Abaddon is doing its work, plus the Shadow Wave and the Poison Touch, setting up some really nice kills down here. Friend going to chase down Kal-El. He's going to get slowed from the Curse of Avernus and be pushed out of the lane a little bit. At least pushed out of the area beyond the lane here in the woods. Walking Lost now out of regen. This is a critical time. He does have a friend, the Warlock. Warlock's going to be able to continue to heal with the Shadow Ward. He still has a leftover Clarity. And there's a Poison Touch into the Abaddon, into the heal. So the Abaddon going to be able to put the Curse of Avernus on him. Doesn't matter. The Shadow Ward's heal is going to be able to prevent that from turning into a kill. Meanwhile, the top lane going pretty well here for the Radiant. See him end low, but he is healing up. He's got some, still got a Tango left. Imagine he's probably going to go over here to the Shrine and heal up. There's a click, but there's nothing there. You've already used your Shrine, good sir. Stewie going to steal yet another rune. So this is not going so well for the Dire here. Radiant are plucking runes out from under their nose. The Dire are stuck in the jungle. They're not farming mid. They're not farming safe lane. The off lane, they're trying to recuperate there with a Dazzle and an Abaddon. And that's not doing so bad. I mean, the Spectre here is teaming up with the Warlock to be able to fend this off, but it's still not going so well. And there's the Fatal Bonds, plus the CNN. He's going to silence up the Dazzle. Going to put on the hurt. There's going to be the dagger walking through. He's going to be able to get a kill. He's actually going to turn around, knowing that there's going to be a heal bomb. So that's not going to be a kill on their part. CNN rotated down here to try to get that kill. Meanwhile, Chocobot Invis running around, ready to put on some pain with the Requiem Souls. Is he going to charge it up right here on Walking Lost? Friend's got to get in position. He's still got plenty of time left on the invisibility. The Dire side, or the Radiant side, have no idea what's about to happen. Friend going to put on the Curse of Avernus, get Walking Lost slow. Chocobot actually misses the opportunity. He does cast a Shadow Raise. I think that misses. There's a Shadow Raise that hits. Wu in the background running in the same direction, going to get some heals, but ultimately going to stop short of the tower. Walking Lost sitting here in the trees. Chocobot taking significant damage. No creeps to potentially fend that off, and no TPs in from the Radiant. There's a Sunstrike is going to land on the... that actually does land on Chocobot, but there's a grave to protect him. He wasn't going to die anyway. So Mobius, the Invoker, and the Void are going to try to take advantage of all the aggression in the bottom lane by pushing this mid tower. They, however, are going to be met pretty quickly here by a 4-man starting to walk through this jungle. So we'll see how they respond to this. Mobius just slowly hitting the creeps. Sand King doing its work in the top lane. Maya's, I'm assuming, pushing the lane a little bit. Here comes the tower hits. Dire not responding to this. They're leaving the Abaddon and the Dazzle in the bottom lane. They're going to allow the Shadow Fiend to return. Monkey King coming in maybe for a flank. Shadow Fiend, no initiation here other than being able to just walk up. He's going to deny that tower. That's a big loss for the Dire. They no longer have this core of vision there in the middle of the lane. You've got an Invoker They do have some vision down here, and a Night Stalker is going to team up maybe with this Warlock, come over and try to get some kind of kill here on Abaddon and the Dazzle, who are putting decent pressure on the Spectre, who has been out of regen for a while now, and is going for that very fast Radiance, which is really tough. It's a really tough build-up to go into a Radiance that much, that early. No stats, no regen. It's going to be a mono-y-mono battle up here, Stewie versus United Airlines. Stewie's putting on the pain. Monkey King does not have a ton of health. He only has 2 armor, but the magic damage of a level 4 Caustic Finale, that's a huge amount of damage. I think he just leveled it up. It was level 3, he just put it in level 4. So that melee advantage there from the Sand King, plus the ability to escape from Sandstorm. He has an Epicenter available if you wanted to use it. The Burrow Strike, only level 1, but that's just enough to get that stun. See how Ursa's doing in the jungle. Ursa has his Morbid Mask. It's kind of a slow start. Morbid Mask, boots, and a shield, so he's going to be a jungle hero for the time being. My guess is he's going to very quickly try to Roshan at some point. But we'll see whether or not he's going to be successful. There's not a significant amount of vision by the Radiant. They have, in fact, they have almost no vision at all. This is their only ward up here, having vision over Friend and any potential gankers coming in through that top lane. They do have no vision in this area, and if they did, they might know that there's an enemy ward right there. CNM walking into the jungle, looking for something. He doesn't have any wards. He does have a phase boot, so he's going to grab the rune. Continue rune steals here by the Radiant. That stuff adds up. So he's going to go through the jungle. Monkey King should have known this. Should have gone there before. He didn't. Missing the rune once again. So Haunt is available. He could, if he popped his mana, he could have it. So if there's going to be a team fight, I just missed this. Looks like Sand King was jumped by Chocobot on the Shadow Fiend, who, by the way, still has a healing salve. He wanted to use it. Dazzle in the area as well. Pretty low. My guess is that Sand King was putting pressure on the tower and the Dazzle, only to find a Shadow Fiend lurking in the woods. It's a Night Stalker, CNM. What are you going to do this time, buddy?
Top tower is under attack.
He's just going to, like ships passing through the night, walk right past the Shadow Fiend. He's going to go up here and try to put some defense at his top tower. Some action going on in the bottom lane. Warlock, he's going to be ambushed here by the Monkey King, and then Abaddon's going to follow through. Curse of Avernus is a bitch, plus the shield. CNN going to come in. He's going to TP. He's going to put on the hurt on Friend here, who'd already used his ultimate. Donkey King going to try to slow up in the back lines, kill maybe a Spectre while he's going on the Friend. CNN, you better get out of there. Spectral Dagger comes out, hits both, produces the pop on the shield, and they're just going to run away, unable to turn into anything. Ursa, he has his phase boots. His farm is just, look how slow. That's so sad. Shadow Fiend, how are you doing on the items there? He's building up an initiation item. That's going to be nice. He really needs that in this game. So the Dire is kind of being pushed farther and farther back into the jungle as Stewie just remains in the top lane, pushing this lane through his Caustic Finale and his Burrow Strike, assuming whenever he gets a chance. He is operating very similar to a Broodmother. Anybody who comes up here gets pushed. He's got a Blink Dagger already. That's going to be a great initiation item. He does have an Epicenter available. He might go try to turn this into something. I doubt that at this MMR, enemies are going to be able to see this Blink Dagger, even under the wards that they do have. Gotta give it to Dire. They are certainly warding a lot better than the Radiant. Dire have vision of this part of the jungle. They got vision this part of the jungle, and they have vision up by this tower in preparation for taking this tower. But they do not know what's about to happen with the Sand King, who for some reason is continuing to farm despite just receiving his Blink Dagger. Because he's going to go ahead and take out that creep camp, get a rune, bottle up, prepare for some sort of assault, maybe on bottom lane. And once again, the same kind of system we've seen going on before, same kind of situation we've seen going on before here. Friend and Wu all partnering up, maybe with the roaming Monkey King, seeing if they can get a kill on the Spectre, who is continuing to struggle to find that farm for the Sacred Relic. Again, a very, very tough build-up. So the question is, it's like a huge step, like it's some sort of a staircase. They're trying to make this humongous step to get to this next item, and it's such a huge item for the game. You want it early, but at the same time, you wonder if would it be better off having some sort of health regen so they can stay in the lane. Here's the Sand King and the Warlock getting involved in the fight. CNN going to be leading the charge on Friend, but he does not have the tankiness that he thinks he does. He has 980 health, 7 armor. It's not bad. Stewie blinking in, looking for an opportunity to initiate. But instead, he's actually just going to push the lane. And I actually missed this. Looks like Monkey King able to take out with Chocobot too. Shadow Fiend picks up a kill on mid on the Invoker, and then Monkey King is able to kill the other. I don't know if United Allies is going to get out of this though. He's going to be able to escape from the trees. So really nice turnaround there by the Dire. I'm surprised they were able to get such quick kills. Those are solo kills, each of them at the same time. Looks like the Shadow Fiend may be getting a little bit fatter than Invoker would like. Shadow Fiend and Ursa now leading the last hit charts. In terms of experience, it's not dead even. It's like the Dire are actually gaining an advantage. So despite the fact that they've lost towers, despite the fact that they are having serious trouble, they're just the laning stage at the very least. They're not doing so well. CNN, you're about to get ganked there. Shadow Fiend Invis right next to you with his great initiating tool. And then Friend is just going to Curse of Avernus you until you die. If you turn around and hit him, you're just going to get shielded, which is going to further exacerbate the odds that you die. And one more hit. Shield's going to pop soon. Shield pops out of the range of CNN. Courier dies, carrying a decent item. Not sure what's going on elsewhere in the field, but that CNN barely escaped. Looks like the Monkey King was killed. Damn you! Damn you! It was an Invoker probably killing Monkey King from a Sunstrike hit. That's what I'm guessing. Yep, that's what happened somewhere on the board. Bottom lane, continue to lane this. Gloves of Haste on a Warlock. Is he going for a Midas? He might. Does he have any? I can't remember if he did. Yeah, he does not have any money items, or money talents. He's not able to convert late game. He really very much likes some money and some experience. Getting close to the Relic. Continues to farm away, struggling in this lane against the Dazzle and an Abaddon. Abaddon has the boots that bring up Basilius. Dazzle, 3 points in the Shadow Wave. He's level 6. He does have the Weave. Here comes a turn. CNN pushing these enemies back, trying to create some room for his Spectre to continue to farm that Sacred Relic. Just a few hundred gold away. It's getting close, but these heroes on the enemy team are getting out of control. We have a Blink Dagger now on an Ursa, and that's going to set up for some disaster. We've got Chocobot with Initiation Tool. He's got some decent levels as well. You could put a hurt on Stewie here, but he's actually going to try to escape. He's going to use his Shadow Blade to escape. Stewie presenting a significant threat there. Possibility of an Epicenter coming out any time. There's nothing that the Shadow Fiend can do about that. Looks like there might be some sort of a gank attempt here on the top lane by the Radiant. Looking at an opportunity to kill Xenia. United Airlines. There's the Epicenter initiation. It's going to be charged back in the back lines, blinked onto the Monkey King and the Ursa. Mersa, you are not getting out of this. You did not have vision. The ward over here, actually they did have vision. R.I.P. Nerd, indeed. Monkey King dying along with this Ursa. This is going to create an opportunity for the Dire or the Radiant to push. Shadow Fiend looking for initiations in the jungle. He's actually going to take the jungle from the enemy. Pretty smart move. He does have this initiation and escape tool, though it's better as an initiating tool. But it's a decent escape tool because most of the enemy team does not seem to be buying any sentry wards or wards at all, actually. There's a ward up there. I shouldn't say that. Ward up there. He's going to die here. Shadow Fiend plus Friend. TP right in front of their faces. Not going to be good enough. Spectre, do you have your dagger or do you have your Radiance yet? Not even Radiance, but do you even have your Relic? Looks like he's going to have, yeah, he has enough for his Relic now, so he's probably just going to walk up here and purchase it. That would be very bad news if Chocobot were to interrupt him and then intercept that. So instead, Dire's going to just push down here. They're trying to take over the enemy jungle. This is very threatening, having a Invis Shadow Fiend walking around and having a Monkey King up in the trees. What do you do? They're kind of turning things on now. They're kind of activated. Mobius, you might actually die here. Be careful. Shadow Fiend's nearby. You do not have a lot of health. You did grab the Invis Rune, so that's going to help him out. We do have a Sand King up top. He's going to try to go mano a mano with it. Ursa, at this point, that's not a good idea. He's going to go Invis. no dust to be had on any of these heroes.
Radiant's middle tower
Nightstalker
is
putting a
under
little
attack.
pressure on the tower, but Friend going to TP in. Curse of Avernus. Mobius is going to try to turn on Friend here as soon as he gets an opportunity. We'll see whether or not this is going to turn into anything. They still have the ultimate on the Abaddon, so it's not like they're going to be able to kill him right away. It's like somebody was mistyping there.
Dire's top tower has been denied.
So the Dire are able to deny the top tower, RIP tower. And they're choking off the enemy jungle. And Radiant are kind of getting tucked in here. They had to spend so much time dealing with this Spectre farming this damn Sacred Relic. He's just now going to get online, but you know, a lot was lost during that time. The mid tower was lost, the bottom tower was lost. You know, how many levels, how many kills were prevented because the Spectre didn't use his ultimate even once? I don't think he's used it once. He had the Warlock had to babysit, meaning he had reduced levels. He's only at level 7 here, and it's 19 minutes into the game. And the Radiant were able to get the Dire were able to get a significant advantage. They've got some pretty great initiation items. The Blink Dagger, the Ursa's starting to get fat. He needs to move his ring, but the Monkey King recovering. He's got a ring of health now. He's got his phase boots. Very mobile team. Well, everybody has phase boots here. It's like Vladimir's offering on the Abaddon, and then we have a Dazzle. He's got arcane boots and a Blightstone. And then we have the Choco Bot here. He already has a Silver Edge, which is a fat pickup. Ring of Aquila, or Aquila, however you want to pronounce it. And he's getting fat too. I think he's going to go for a Midas. Is that what's going to happen next? Or is he going to go for the stats boots? No. I'm not sure what exactly he's doing over here. Action in the top lane. Looks like the rock was dropped onto a now graved United Airlines. Friend going to push the advantage here, but he's actually going to potentially die if he doesn't have his ultimate. Nightstalker stuck in the middle of this Monkey King ultimate. Sunstring right onto Monkey King's face. That's a dead Monkey King. Abaddon doesn't have his ultimate, and he actually gets killed. There's a Spectre ult. Does he have his Radiance at this point? He does have his Radiance, and ladies and gentlemen, that's the power of Radiance. Immediate team fight, immediate turnaround. Ursa, you were in the wrong place at the wrong time. You're not able to turn this onto Walking. Well, Walking Lost actually almost died there. He's going to turn around, run away. But there's the return Choco Bot in the area. Stewie going to die from an Ursa. Has a massive ultimate from Requiem Soul's ultimate. A massive Ursa turnaround, able to survive long enough to turn this whole fight in their favor. So now in terms of net worth, the Ursa and the Shadow Fiend are on top. And they are just going to march down this top lane. And the rest of their team are going to march down the bottom lane. Going to put pressure into the enemy jungle. This is actually, this game is just Afu. Yeah, agreed. Everybody agrees your game is Afu. Ursa queuing up a Skull Basher. Warlock, you do not have your ultimate. Nightstalker is going to try to turn this, go onto the Ursa. Actually, he's going to be dead. I don't think he had Rage. Chocobot, you are way overstaying your welcome. He does have an Invis, but there is a Sentry Ward. Finally, some detection. CMN going to put the pressure onto Chocobot. Can he catch up to him? Chocobot's going to run out of Invis. He's going to get sniped by a Sunstrike. No, he's able to walk away. The enemy team turns it. So much for Dust, but the Dire continue this relentless push into the enemy jungle. Relentless push to the towers. They're going to be hitting the bottom tower at this point. We've got 3 in the area, led by Friend. Currently has a Medallion of Courage. Dazzle warding things. He has a Sentry Ward, he has Observer Ward. Looks like there's some vision here of Walking Lost, who does not have his ultimate, cannot escape. They might be able to go onto him if they have some sort of initiation. Monkey King sitting back at the back lines, though. He's not going to press this advantage against the enemy hero. They really want to push this lane. And so the Radiant versus the Dire here, defending this bot tower. Cooldowns, or some big ultimates cooling down. Stewie has his Epicenter back. Spectre ultimate's going to be online. Invoker's almost always online. So they actually, this push back into their own jungle is able to push away and deter the Dire. They do have 4 here, though. This is a big commitment, and Nightstalker is returning. And the Dire have warded this jungle extremely well. There is virtually nothing that's going on they're not aware of. And so instead of fighting here in the jungle alone in this part in the dark, they're going to back up to the tower. They're going to sit up here and wait for the Radiant to push in. They're actually taking some much needed ancient kills there while they're at it. Here comes big team fight on the way. All the teams or all the members of the teams are clashing here. Nightstalker in the jungle. There's actually a background or some stuff going on in the flank. That's an Ursa jumped into a Warlock and just blew up the Warlock. See, man, you're gonna die to a Chocobot? Chocobot invis setting up for the kill here on Stewie. He's probably gonna charge it up. That was a stun onto Stewie. He's gonna charge up the Requiem. This is a good opportunity. No, he's not. He's gonna save the Requiem. They're just gonna gang up on an isolated Sand King. Boy, he loves that RIP. And that's actually led by the flanking maneuver from the Ursa and probably created by the vision, knowing where the Warlock was going to be. So the vision, the initiation tools, the escape tools by the Dire are accumulating into this advantage. That is becoming hard to stop. The Spectre took so long to come online. There's a Nightstalker ultimate. Gonna try to put some damage reduction. Here comes the Requiem Souls right onto 2. Kullo, you are dead almost instantaneously. Mobius, you do have an escape mechanism, but there's not much you're going to be able to do. You almost die to a blind Shadow Raise. Ursa gonna push the tower after the Shadow Fiend just swags away. Initiating with the Silver Edge. He actually started with the Requiem Souls to get the Silver Edge, but here's oh my gosh, the Sand King just sitting in the wrong place at the wrong time. Now he just wants to end. Oh, this is a classic maneuver, folks. You have somebody sit in the wrong place at the wrong time, they die, and then they just say end. Well, that's nice. Monkey King ultimate for no apparent reason. There's absolutely no reason for him to be here, other than perhaps to zone out the enemy. Could have waited, maybe. Waited a little bit longer. The ultimate, look how long this lasts. It's pretty significant. It's about 10 seconds, it looks. There's the Spectre. Gonna put the Radiance Burn onto the enemies, but they're gonna mass heal and completely destroy the tower. Dazzle, you might end up dying. There's a rock on top of 2. Abaddon's caught in the mix, though. Dazzle's probably gonna be able to die here. He's not gonna be able to grave himself. Ursa on the back line's blowing up CNN. He's gonna finish up CNN, the Nightstalker there. He does have a shield. The Invoker's going to turn this around with a Deafening Blast, try to push them back a little bit further. The Rock continuing to do that burn damage, plus the Radiance on the Spectre. Doesn't matter. The Shadow Fiend is going to come into the back lines and just blow up a couple of people. Stewie charges the Epicenter. He wants to get this Chocobot down a little bit. He's going to go Invis, try to prevent the death. And Chocobot, surrounded by 3, almost kills the Spectre on his death. And Stewie finishing up with Friend here. Friend's going to definitely get the kill on Stewie, but Stewie going to create the kill for Mobius. And so that's a big team fight. I honestly have no idea what advantage that had. Okay, so Radiant being down probably in the net worth did take the advantage. Yeah, they're down in the experience. They're down in the net worth. Slight blip up after that team fight. 3 deaths versus 3 deaths. You had a death in the Shadow Fiend who was quite beefy. And then the 3 deaths occurred on the Radiant side non-cores. So the Spectre able to turn that into something. He actually has a Yasha off of that. Looks like the Invoker, after the Hand of Midas, now has his Ag Scepter, has the Boots of Travel. He's going to start becoming a menace. I think this might be an opportunity for the Radiant side to come back. They need to do a little better job with their warding, because they, for example, at the moment do not see this Invis Ursa getting ready to come in here. He clicks on the Spectre. This could be a very dead Spectre. The command is set. He's going to interrupt Spectre as he walks up to this. Yeah, that's dead. Nope, never going to survive that. He pops the Enrage for the additional damage boost. Dazzle even coming into the area. They're going to take out this Shrine. And unfortunately, Spectre in the wrong place at the wrong time. Did not have any vision in the jungle. So the Sand King crying to end the game could have at least purchased some kind of a vision so his team can survive a little bit better. He's going to walk right up to his Shrine, defend it with nobody backing him up. CNN is just in the area, but not near him enough to contribute. The Spectre was dead, so that not a very smart move by the Sand King. The entire enemy team up here taking out these objectives. Sand King has an Aether Lens. He's got a Blink Dagger. He's going for the Ags next. He's very close. But you know, wards win games, folks. Ags is very important, but you won't need the Ags as much if your teammates don't die. So virtually no supporting activity going on by the Radiant. And so And there's a death. I don't even know what's going on up there. Okay, actually, they're able to turn that onto a Monkey King. Not the biggest kill. So Ursa's going to pop in onto the Night Stalker. Void onto the Ursa. Enraged Ursa going to take a lot of damage, but not actually be dealt any damage. 4-on-1. Can the Ursa survive? He's going to pound the ground, slow it down, try to walk away. He gets graved. There's an enemy team in the area. Rock on top of the Ursa, try to clean this up. Finally, the Rock able to take out the Ursa. That's a big pickup. Dazzle, you're going to die too because you just used your grave. And the friend's going to have to walk away. Spectre once more. He completely whiffs. He completely whiffs the dagger. But meanwhile, super creeps walking into the bottom there. Going to take out some of these additional objectives for the Dire without doing much. But that was a really good team fight by the Radiant. There was a Ursa completely out of position. So I don't know what MMR this is, but I'm seeing a lot of out of position cores. Not being supported by their team. Now, the Dazzle was in the area, but the Ursa was up in this area, and there was no vision. The Radiant actually have superior vision in this area. Very good vision. And the Dire have completely lost their vision of this jungle. So they have no control of it anymore. The Radiant actually even have a vision of these two towers over here, so you might see a push by the Radiant. If they can get their act together, maybe they can push through this jungle and capture one of these towers. I don't know how long they're ward here is going to last. It is almost dead, so they're not going to be able to take advantage of that. So they're going to lose that opportunity there to take 2 towers off the back of this team fight. They actually, part of the reason is they're having trouble. I mean, the creeps were all the way into their base in the bottom lane. They're super creeps. They're hard to kill. They have decent wave clear, but Stewie is not in the area. Walking lost. He was afraid probably to be down there. A, because they have no vision, and B, because the last time he didn't have any vision, he was down here. He died. He died. He got blown up by an Ursa. He just enraged and just whacked him to death a few times. Overpower. Plus the Fury Swipes makes for a very dangerous creature. And Rage as well to maximize the damage. It's like Friend and Chocobot plus the Monkey King and the Dazzle are going to be sitting up here taking out this objective. No action going down to the bottom right, except for maybe a Spectre who's trying to farm the jungle. There's really nothing in the jungle. Double damage rune on a Shadow Fiend, going to push the tower. Nobody's going to be able to counteract this. Sand King decides to jump in. He wants to be a hero, a superhero. He would have to be in order to survive this. Once again, Sand King. Strategic decisions. Strategic decisions there. CNN, you're going to die. Just a little bit of extra damage. Actually gets killed with a Mist Coil, which is a kind of a I don't know, shameful end, I suppose. But that was a lost opportunity from the Sand King. Potentially could have prevented this high ground push. Looking for a tornado there on the backside. Not going to happen. Invoker busy doing other things. Monkey King setting up for an ultimate here. He's going to jump in right next to an Invoker. Actually misses the stun on the Invoker. Invoker puts a hurt on the Abad. Invoker getting hurt by the Monkey King. But he's going to actually be able to run away. There's a turnaround. Rock could have been into an epicenter, but sir, you are dead, Sand King. You can't do anything about that. They actually take out the tower. Monkey King ultimate to try to turn the tide here. There goes your Rock. It is dead. Walking Lost does not have an ultimate. The ultimate has been expended. Spectral Daggers instead. No initiation onto the Dire. Ursa instead jumps in. Going to put a pounding here onto the Invoker, who's able to... He's going to stun the Ursa a little bit. Kalel's going to hit him a little bit. There's the initiation. There's the boom setup. Wow, bam, biff, bop. Old Batman style wombo combo. Ursa's going to potentially kill Walking Lost. No, it's 5-man versus... I'm sorry, Ursa. That was Walking Lost going to... Yes. That was actually a Shadow Fiend. And looks like Spectre disconnected. So that's a GG call by the Shadow Fiend. I seriously doubt that. So both teams are calling GG. That's a typical Dota game right there. So Shadow Fiend went for a quick Satanic. Doesn't really have any other big damage items, so he's not able to use this Satanic as much as he might want to. Perhaps trying to use it for this quick high ground push at 31 minutes, which is really not all that quick. And you see there, once the Sand King gets involved, that Epicenter plus a stun is magical, and if they could have just combined that with the Chaotic Offering, that would have been an entire team wipe. So Radiant's side here has the they have the tools. They have the opportunities. The question is, can they convert? And Dire continuing to show their dominance from their post-laning stage, crushing through the enemy jungle. They are getting caught out a little bit here, but the Ursa so strong. He's got an Abyssal Blade at this point. He went ahead and got Vlad's. I believe that's in addition to is the Monkey King? No, the Monkey King actually doing really well. Monkey King with his Echo Saber and his Basher, his ultimate is nasty. You can see why that rock died so quickly. Dazzle, he's running around with a Force Staff. He's got his Medallion of Courage. I wonder if he'll turn it into a Solar Crest anytime soon. Arcane Boots and some wards. That's a good Dazzle support there. He's doing his job. Explains a lot of the vision advantage here by the Dire. And what else do we have here? Abaddon. Abaddon has the Vladimir's Offering. That's what he has. So there's a little bit of redundancy between the Ursa and the Abaddon, but that's okay because the Ursa can take the advantage of the Roche by himself. And in fact, that's exactly what they are selecting. Green, who is green, that's the Monkey King. He said, hey, let's do Roche. And they probably should have been doing that all along. They do have an Ursa, and they have yet to take advantage of that. Abaddon does have a Solar Crest. There's another overlap there. The Abaddon and the Dazzle have a form, sort of a form of the Solar Crest there. Radiant have absolutely no vision. They have no clue what's going on. They have no hope of contesting this. They're going for the big fat support damage items. Finally, I see some wards here. Night Stalker, he's got a 4 count of Observer wards. He hasn't put any up there. He does have a Gem of True Sight, and he has Dust of Appearance. So he is doing the hard work of winning this game. And the Sand King finally has his Ag Scepter, and now he's going to go for a Force Staff. And he blinks in, does the exact same thing he's done virtually every single time, and then he says end. So I have absolutely every time. That's exactly right. So now his entire team has to try to fight this. He could buy back. This could be a little bit of a ruse here. Ursa jumps into the Night Stalker, does not have a saving mechanism. There's a Tornado into a Monkey King ultimate. And a rock on top. God, that would have been a really great opportunity for an Epicenter, but instead the Monkey King ultimate is going to turn, and Night Stalker's going to be dead, the Invoker's going to be dead, this is going to be a dead tower. There it is, nice initiation there by Stewie. It's too bad that he had died prior to that, and he hadn't purchased the buyback in time to be able to fight with his team. Friend is going to die from the Radiance Burn and the Spectral Dagger. He's going to be protected by the shield for a few more seconds. Ursa's going to try to come in, flank maneuver onto the Spectre. That's a dead Spectre. Stu, you are going to die again. That's going to be a dieback. And Ursa fighting off this slow from the... oh, wow, he actually escapes. So that's Sand King, the ability to escape. He overestimating it, though, in these team fights. Pick up an Arcane Rune, so to get some faster cooldowns. So we're definitely getting into the item description there. Mega Creeps. I'm sorry, the cast it description. Mega Creeps plus big team fights. Guessing that's what's going to happen next. Stewie jumps in from behind, but he's going to get blown up by an Ursa once again, and he dies. There's the initiation from the Rock. Rock's going to die so quickly, especially because Shakabot does have a Satanic. He finally picks up an Eagle Song for a significant amount of damage. Gem of True Sight drops somewhere. Looks like maybe Dire are going to pick that up. And here comes the push into these racks. I don't think there's anything the Radiant can do about this. Shadow Fiend just going to sit back and blow up these racks. Looks like Invoker's going to try to turn this now. It's going to be a Tornado into a Meatball into a Deafening Blast. He hits 3 different targets, though. Isn't able to concentrate his efforts to kill anybody. CNN going up against Chocobot. Not very good. Chocobot going to turn around and hit the Warlock a few times and beat the crap out of the Warlock. CNN, you're going to die to a Chocobot. It's just a standing turret at this point. Walking Lost, you're going to die. There's a Radiance Burn on a Chocobot. Does he have his Satanic? No. So this could actually be an opportunity here. Could they turn this against Chocobot if they get a good initiation? Sand King is dead, though. Night Stalker is dead. Where is initiation going to come from? Monkey King sitting on the back lines. He's going to get hexed by an Invoker. I believe that's an Invoker with the hex. That is nice pickup there by the Invoker. Refresher onto the Warlock. Already used the refreshed ultimate, so that's not going to be helpful. Buyback by the Monkey King. He's going to be back in this game. And now Sand King's going to be back up. Now this could be an opportunity for the Radiant to turn this. I doubt they're going to be able to push this into the end game, though. Ursa very strong, Shadow very strong, Shadow Fiend very strong. There's about everything you could put into an Invoker, into these 2 heroes, but Xeni, you're so strong with the Rage, and the Abaddon's just taking damage through his ultimate, and Ursa actually going to die anyway. Walking Lost, able to push that advantage, couldn't escape because of the Warlock slow. There's a stun by Stewie into a Sunstrike to his face, he almost dies. Stewie better escape. Are they going to push this advantage? Once again, good game called, not actually good game. So the Radiant defend. But at what cost? This is a Mega Creeps defense. Monkey King sitting in the area. He wants to try to get a kill onto the Spectre. Can he kill the Spectre with his ultimate? Couple hits, couple slows, and he escapes. Little Creep going to walk around, and Monkey King is actually going to die, but not before he kills the Sand King once again. Huge amount of damage, fighting through his ultimate. Sunstrike to the face after a tornado. CNN's going to turn this around onto the Dazzle, pick up this Gem of True Sight. He's going to have to back off because these creeps are going to kick his ass. Down to 75 health. All right, so can the Radiant, which are coming online, the Invoker and the Spectre, pretty decent stats. They have the Manta style for the additional help with the Radiance burn, so there's not just Haunt anymore. The Sand King, really looking for a Force Staff, but he does have the items for good initiation. Warlock, he has his Glimmer Cape, his Refresher, doesn't have an Axe, but that's all right. He's going to continue to get a little bit stronger here. He's scaling. Nightstalker has the egg. That's not really that big of a benefit at this point, considering that the enemy is on their own high ground. If he could only get out and do some warding, he's terrified of leaving the base. Invoker with a huge pickup there from the Scythe of Vice, able to get a kill on that Monkey King who had to buy back, who's now been dead for this entire time. They're just having to sit in their base and defend. It's like Dazzle was able to pick up the Solar Crest, as I kind of predicted he would go for that. So that's 2 Solar Crests on the team. Both of the supports, the major supports with the exception of the Monkey King, purchasing these items, going to give evasion and a huge armor advantage to the Shadow Fiend and the Ursa. Shadow Fiend finally picks up his Butterfly. He has that now with the Satanic and the Silver Edge. He is set to crush, initiate if he can, and blow somebody up. Ursa also the same way, blowing people up. He has a heart to Rask, so he is tanky as hell through the Enrage. He's not going to die through that Enrage. And if he's got a Grave on, he's going to potentially be able to heal pretty quickly through that. So it takes, is it 7 seconds? Yeah, it's 7-second cooldown, so he'd have to stay alive a little bit longer to get that regen if you start going from the heart. Looks like Dire are going to take the advantage and take out a Roshan. That's the right way to do it here. Give themselves 5 lives. Chocobot, I'm guessing can take this. Nope, looks like Xenia. Xena. I don't know, I keep calling it Xenia. Xena, isn't it? Xena? Xena Warrior Princess. So now Ursa, super strong. Not much going to stop him. He's just going to walk in. He's got the shield, he's got the rage, he's got the Aegis, he's got the heart, he's got the Vlads, he's healing, he's doing damage, he's taking a ton of damage, nothing can kill him. There's the initiation onto the Evoker, counter initiation, on top of another counter initiation, rocks and Monkey Kings everywhere, and Sand King initiations, and actually gonna potentially turn that. There's an Evoker purchase back, it's gonna tornado and meatball and a deafening blast, blows up 3-4 now. There are 3, that's gonna be a dead Ursa who's not gonna be able to withstand the second rock in the face. Once again, good game called, but of course, the problem here is can the Radiant actually do something with this? The Ursa getting, you know, it's nice that he had an Aegis, but it doesn't matter when your entire team is dead and you have, the enemy has slows to prevent you from getting out. So, okay, can the Radiant do something with this? The click is onto this tower, and so they're going to have to death push this all the way. I'm not sure they're going to be able to convert. The enemy team's going to be respawned before they even get to the racks, I think. But Walking Lost, getting fat. He's got his heart to Rask. He's going to be able to turn that Dispersion into something. Dispersion, or sorry, Desolate. Deals bonus damage on Spectre attacks the enemy who is alone. Well, that's bonus damage. Is that based upon strength? That's just bonus damage. Dispersion. I thought he had a bonus damage based upon strength. Could be wrong. I thought there was some sort of strike thing. I guess maybe that's not there anymore. Maybe I'm mistaken. So here it is. This is the final counter push here. No buyback, though, on the Shadow Fiend. So there's going to be four who are going to be pushing, counter-pushing the Radiant. And just the buybacks alone, able to convince the Radiant to back off. And they're actually completely backing off. They're returning to their base. They're afraid. They've got their barracks and their throne. The throne's almost completely exposed. The barracks are completely gone. Mega Creep's pushing in. They don't really have the ability to push into the enemy. They're going to have to fight again. This is going to have to be another massive team fight. Another opportunity for the Radiant to be able to do something with this. And I don't know if the Dire are going to try to wait for another Roshan. But the Roshan didn't really help last time, so are they just going to try to push these lanes in, create maximum pressure, and just hope that the team falls? That might be the best option, instead of pushing in and giving the Radiant a potential chance to come back. So, not really sure, because if the Dire push into the space, they get if the Radiant can get their act together and they can actually cast all their spells at once, then Fatal Bonds, plus 2 rocks, plus an Epicenter. Oh my gosh, that's just a sick amount of damage. And you've got the Spectral Radiance burn. I don't know. I don't know if Dire can stop that. Even through a Rage, even through Monkey King ultimate for the counter initiation, even through Weave and the Shadow Fiend. You know, they can put out a ton of damage and they can take a ton of damage, but Monkey King is pretty weak, actually. He's 2,400 health at this point, so he's actually not as weak as you think. He actually has a Demon Edge and a Vanguard. He only has 8 armor, though, so that's not significant, although the enemy team does not produce a significant amount of physical damage. So does he have any magic resist? He actually didn't take the magic resist. He's turning into a damage carry. I don't know how much damage he's doing, so. Abaddon, he's got the Soul Booster. He's picking up some big items here. Here comes the push. There's the Weave on top of the front two. And they're not going to walk in this time. They're going to back up a little bit. They might be looking for an opportunity to initiate. There's Ursa, pops into the Sand King, not able to get a kill or even really do much after that. They want it. They are so hungry for this. Dazzle out of position, not able to grave anybody. Shadow Fiend jumps in, and this is the Spectre ult. There's the rock, number 1. Able to turn this into something. I don't know. That's Shadow Fiend's dying pretty quickly, but there's the grave. Monkey King probably going to cast this ult in this area in just a second. There's a tornado plus a giant meatball plus a deafening blast. There's a Stewie ultimate. There's the Monkey King to come back. And looks like maybe the Night Stalker's going to die. We already have a death from the Shadow Fiend's second rock popping down. Sunstrike to the face. Somebody might die on the back lines. There's so much stuff going on here. Rock facing up against the Monkey King. Looks like the Ursa's able to go down in the background. Dazzle is dead. Friend gonna try to escape. I'm not sure he's gonna be able to get out of here. Spectre finally gets a Diffusal Blade. Somebody else dies. Not sure who that was. Monkey King? A Monkey King finally died in the background. So once again, Radiant able to defend, and the Dire put on their heels. Not everybody in the Dire dies this time, but and 4 are going to be alive potentially by the time that the Radiant are able to do something with this. So the question is, can the Radiant, do they have what it takes to push this high ground? Because they've just expended all of their ultimates. Spectre doesn't have an ultimate. He has a Diffusal Blade. That's an okay pickup at this point in the game. He finally gets, it's only level 1 Diffusal Blade, but he finally gets something. We can see he's still not doing a huge amount of damage here. There's very little right click. The enemy team can take a lot of right click. It's the magic damage and the disable from the Invoker, the Radiance Burn, the big ultimates that's actually killing this enemy team. So without those, I'm not sure that the Dire are going to be able to, well, I'm not sure that the Radiant are going to be able to kill the Dire here. They're going to opt for some towers. I think that's a good opportunity. Although they can't even get to the towers because their creep wave is way down here into their base. So they're going to take a couple of items and escape. Still can't touch this high ground. They're getting a little bit better at defending their high ground, but you know, as they're coming online, as their ultimates continue to put out the damage, they actually split up that fight a little bit so that the ults didn't do as much. And Dire, they do need to kind of split these fights up a little bit to be able to defend. Maybe you lose 1 hero instead of all 4 or 5 heroes to a bunch of ultimates. But how do you do that? How do you successfully push into the high ground without all of your team there present? Because if you separate, you just create opportunities for a Radiant to jump you. And they do have the ability to jump. Night Stalker, he's got that Void. Crippling Fear. The Spectre does have the ability to ult in. You have a Blink Dagger on a very jump-happy Sand King. He would love to initiate on you. Big pickup there. That's actually a really good pickup for the Invoker. The Shiva's Guard going to put hurtin' on some of these right-click heroes here. Shadow Fiend, he's going to be slowed down, but he's also going to have his attack speed reduced, which is very important. Not a lot, but it's enough. It's only, was it? Aura attack slow, 45. So that's not bad. And then, of course, Invoker is going to be much tankier to the DPS of the enemy. He has, at this point, 30. That's actually 30 armor. So he's doing pretty well. He's becoming a little more survivable and very threatening against any one particular hero, even a combination of heroes. He has the ability to do a lot. So Stewie ended up picking up a Veil of Discord to help amp his magic damage. And this could be a good pickup. I don't know though, because they're already trying to, Dire already like having trouble pushing, and the additional damage might be helpful, but it might be overkill, and a different item might have been a better pickup. Maybe I don't know, another Disable might have been okay. Maybe another Hex. I don't know. It's a tough call. These games are tough. And it looks like their warding is actually doing is very different. At this late game, we have warding over here in the jungle by the Radiant. We have warding by the Dire. Trying to see what's going on. We have Radiant warding over here. Nightstalker doing a good job making sure there's lots of wards everywhere. It actually might be overdoing it here. He's got a ward here, and a ward here, and a ward way up here. He wants to be able to see every opportunity, every path and entrance to this space. They want to try to get a gank if they can without expending all of the ultimates, because what they want to do is they want to be able to kill a core hero on the enemy team, or at this point really any hero on the enemy team, and then push up to the enemy's high ground, the Dire high ground, and then use all their ultimates there. Because if they can turn a team fight there, then that is it. And if you can force all of the enemy to be stuck on their high ground and grouped up, that is the key there. That's how you're going to be able to turn this. But you have to be able to get a gank. So that's why I'm thinking maybe the Sand King pick might have been better off if it were some sort of initiating item, or maybe a Silver Edge or something like that. Might have been a good pickup in this game. The Dire are going to wait for the Roshan, who's not respawning. Was his maximum respawn time here? I mean, I actually don't know what maximum respawn time is. It's a very, very long respawn time here. And meanwhile, they're just going to try to farm everything they can, get as much items as they can, and many items as they can, and buybacks. That's the most important thing. In fact, I'm going to put buyback here. Yeah, so their Ursa does not have a buyback, and that's a critical problem. He needs to have buyback. He's only 284 gold away, so he'll be close. The Abaddon is basically has buyback, although the question is, do they have buyback timers? Chocobot picks up an item, loses his buyback, so he's gold away. So it looks like Abaddon just doesn't. There it is. He finally gets it. So the scout here from the Invoker picks up the fact that there's a Dazzle, but there wasn't. They did pick up an Ursa. Or sorry, did pick up a Roshan. So they don't know this is happening just yet, and they are in no position to respond. They have nobody in the area. The wards, as good as the Nightstalker has done trying to reward this area, are not anywhere near this vision. So they're going to crush this Roshan, get their 5th life, or sorry, their 6th life, give it to the Ursa there. A nice scout, a little bit late there. Not really going to do much. So Aegis on the Ursa once again, who has really not progressed since the last few battles. He's trying to make sure he has buyback because he wants to be able to push as hard as they can, die potentially and be able to come back, either to finish the fight in the enemy high ground or finish the fight on his own high ground, defending his own high ground. So this is it. The Dire are gathering up. They're organizing their troops. They are preparing for the invasion of the enemy high ground. Try to do this differently this time. It's not sure how they're going to be able to do this. They have to figure out a way to push into these ultimates or survive these ultimates. This might have been a good opportunity for a BKB on any of these heroes. Nobody has a BKB. Yeah. Lots of damage, but no survivability. And if they were able to survive just a little bit longer, they might be able to turn these fights. Because they have great right click, but they do not have the ability to survive all the magic damage and control coming out of the enemy team. Sand King stun, the Voids, the Warlock stuff, all the Fatal Bonds, everything doing a ton of damage. So that would have been the pickup if I recommend a solution to you, Dire. BKBs. Really important here. So here comes the push. Spectre, you might be in the wrong place here. Ursa is actually walking up to the high ground. He's going to initiate onto the Spectre. There is a Manta to try to prevent that from happening. Ursa, you are actually not being supported by your team there. Finally, there's a Monkey King Ultimate Grave going onto the Ursa. He's actually not going to die. That's the overlap we were talking about earlier in the game. There's the Rock, and not actually going to be able to prevent Ursa from dying. So the Grave is potentially wasted there, but the Monkey King potentially going to die in the background too. the Sand King. Ursa going to blow up a rock. I'm not sure that was the best target to be hitting. There's an Invoker Initiation, Tornado, Deafening Blast, Meatball. Tons of damage going into this Shadow Fiend. Not able to survive. Ursa, you're going to get pushed back. Nobody has died yet. On the Radiant side, Dire, you're getting crushed here. There's Ursa surrounded and stuck. 3 or 4 members of the Radiant side crushing him. There's a Tornado off the mark. That's going to be a Sunstrike to the face. Boom, blown up. Souls go everywhere. And once again, Friend is the only one walking away. Not the best friend in the world, I guess. Maybe he was the best friend. He supported as long as he could, but he even used his borrowed time. So actually, I don't know about that. I don't know about that fight there by the Abad. The Abad abandoned his friends. Well, that's like a triple pun or something right there. So, Walking Lost leading the charge. He's ready to pick up an Assault Cuirass. He really wants this. This is their opportunity. They're using the rock to push out the bottom lane. They don't have any ultimates for this. I don't know how many rocks were cast. We do have an ultimate, ultimates from 2 heroes where you don't care about the ultimates. Walking Lost is going to put pressure on Friend. He's up against 3, so if he gets initiated on, he might have a problem. There's the Monkey King stun. And, yeah, that's going to be an Invoker coming into the back lines. Deafening Blast, Meatball, and actually going to trigger the heal and the ultimate from the Abaddon, who no longer has the ultimate. EMP, and Dire going to walk into that. Dagger, you going to die? You going to die, Spectre? He actually dies. He's going to be able to buy back with his ultimate. He can't. There's going to be an Invoker, a Monkey King. Oh my gosh, all the ultimates coming out. And Monkey King can actually kill the Invoker here, so that's going to turn this fight potentially. So I'm going to turn off my friends here. Okay, so there's the buybacks from the Radiant. Assault Cuirass picked up by the Night Stalker. I'm not sure why. I think I guess he decided to pick it up rather than the Spectre. He really is the better option for it. Spectre should be picking up something else, maybe a high damage item. He's still got it queued up. Not sure what that's all about. So that's a kind of taste of what potentially can happen here. Is you've got 2 or 3 heroes from the Radiant side trying to push this high ground, but just a few heroes from the Dire side are able to clean up. So the question, but if they can get enough ultimates online at the same time that they're pushing that front base, they might be able to prevent the Dire from defending. They might be able to crush the Dire in that choked off defense area. See, this is where all that stuff's going to be cast. And there, finally a BKB. Sheesh. That could be game-winning BKB, actually. Maybe not on the Monkey King. Game-winning if it was on somebody else. But this is the area that Radiant want to be fighting in. If they can get to this area. They took down the tower pretty quickly. They'd be able to crush this. Unfortunately, the Spectre ultimate was not up in time. Might have been able to turn that fight had it been. Finally got some important pickups here to defend the high ground. The Maelstrom, actually I think he had a Maelstrom for a while, but he's got a Maelstrom and Assault Cuirass. That's a good combo for defending high ground. Not so fast. Invoker is still kind of stuck. He's had to spend some money buying back. Sand King, he dropped his Veil. He got an Ag. I can't remember which one he actually had. He finally bought some Reserve Rewards. There you go. Excellent choice, sir. Excellent choice. Dire rapidly advancing through the jungle. They might want to do something about the Radiant being out of position here. Sand King way out of position. Good flanking opportunity, but he's actually going to not take advantage of it. He's going to reveal himself. He wanted to get back pretty quickly. Night Stalker going to ultimate. Try to reduce the vision here. There's the Spectre ult. Radiant's Burn going to see where everybody is. And there's going to be some initiation somewhere. Monkey King going to pop his BKB. There's going to be a stun onto 2. Is he going to ultimate? Ooh, he really wanted it. He actually decided not to do it. Maybe that's the best decision there. His team was in position. And here we go. What is this, round 4? Round 5? Mega Creep's pushing into the base. Ursa going to jump in, do the same old thing. Walking Lost going to return the favor. Walking Lost, there's the Manta. There into the first Rock. Radiance Burn. Rock, Radiance Burn. Huge Epicenter ultimate. Going to make Fiend cast his ultimate. And Ursa, you are going to die into a Meatball Tornado, EMP, Disaster, stun from the Shadow, or from the Sand King. Abaddon desperately trying to take out these towers. No, sir, that is not the solution. Chocobot, you are down here in the bottom lane, and you're going to use your... He's going to use his Satanic, but he is not able to sustain, doesn't have enough damage to heal himself up through all of the damage. And so this might be the opportunity. Only one dead on the part of Radiant. It's that Sand King. And now, Radiant going to push this. The Invoker, I don't see your buybacks online from only 3, though. Warlock, Dazzle. Warlock important buyback because he might have an does he have a refresher? He actually used it. That's good. So he actually doesn't have an ultimate online. Looks like he might be sitting on the back lines anyway. They're letting the cores push this. Spectre and Invoker. Meanwhile, Dire, they're in a dire situation. They have 2 heroes that can come back, but the Shadow Fiend does not want to buy back because he's going to respawn about the same time as his friends will anyway, even without buyback. He's going to be able to have some high ground defense, but against the Spectre, he can't blow up the Spectre. Spectre is very strong right now. And there's Dazzle desperately trying to defend. That's going to be a Spectral Dagger into a Invoker Tornado. That's a dead Dazzle. He actually buys back. He actually buy back. That's a pretty good move. They're going to go straight for the T-Force here. There goes the first tower. The second tower going to go down very quickly thereafter. I'm not sure Dire are going to be able to defend against this. Dazzle and the Shadow Fiend here back. Monkey King's back in 7 seconds, but this is going to go down. The Ancient is dying. It's halfway dead. There is a Glyph going to be spent. Invoker going to finally initiate onto the Shadow Fiend. These Ursa still not back. 2 seconds left to the Ursa. Monkey King going to cast his ultimate. Oh man, the Spectre is hitting. There's nothing they can do about this. Hitting the Ancient. No amount of damage is going to stop him. Is it or not? Maybe. Oh, the Ancient actually getting hit. So close to dying, but they're trying to get the last hits onto the Ancient. Enough of the Dire team able to return the favor and actually blow them up, and they're going to come back down here and try to blow up the Radiance. There's no buyback on the Spectre. He died up here, desperately trying to kill the Ancient. Not doing a ton of damage because he doesn't do a ton of kind of siege damage.
Is under attack.
Dire racing to the Radiant side. Will he have buyback? Is the Spectre going to have buyback? He actually, no. He's on a cooldown. He has 1 minute and 31 seconds left. So GG called by the Monkey King. Dazzle gone, but so is the Spectre. And, oh no! The Mega Creeps! Mega Creeps pushed in. Something happened. I have to figure out what's going on. I have to go back. That is unacceptable. Somebody must have TP'd and taken care of it. Oh boy. Well, so much for that replay, huh? Go to the very end here. Why is it got to replay? See, now it works. And it won't let me actually go back. How annoying is that? Can't go back. It's like 10 seconds left, or 1 minute left on that. It won't let me go back. Let's try this. All right, now let's see what happens here. So they get so close, all this stuff dies, and then something happens. Ah, Mobius. Mobius is in the house. Uses his Ghost Walk, waits for the Dire to advance.
Radiant's Ancient is under attack.
He walks up, casts Alacrity, hits it a few times. The enemy is too slow, not able to react. And ladies and gentlemen, that is it. That was the game. Wow. Nobody even knew. And that's the power of an Invis Invoker. Baha, good game. Indeed. Well, that was actually rather fun. I'm sorry I missed the very end there. Nobody saw that coming. Perhaps somebody else did. I did not. So congratulations there to the Invoker, who able to show how you win games. That makes a big difference, being able to take out those towers. So congratulations to the Radiant side team. I'm guessing that's you on the Invoker there, Mr. Zacharific. That's my guess. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this cast uncasted. If you would like me to cast one of your games, just email me at sol, S-O-L, .quixote, Q-U-I-X-O-T-E, at gmail.com. You can also just post something in the casted thread. Lots of people are going to be posting there and having their games casted. It's a great resource, and it's good for casters too, because we're looking for games to cast that people actually will watch. There's plenty of other stuff going on out there in the world. It's nice to know that there's some people who can help each other out. Somebody wants a game casted, and there's casters that are willing to cast it. So thank you so much for watching, and I wish you luck in your games, and have fun.